Welcome to Jets Rewind. I'm Marty Shupak in Valley Cottage, New York. I'm joined by Ray Clifford in Marysville, Ohio. Ralph Schrager is incognito. He's apparently taking the night off, Ray. Ray, how you doing as we are reeling from a 27-12 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals?
Uh, I'd say I'm really upset. I'm not upset that we lost. We're not at the point where I go into every game expecting a win. I go in hoping, but what I am bothered by or disappointed by is how we played. I just think that game should have been one that was, I won't say a nail biter, but it should have still been in doubt when we still had the ball at the end. I think that should have been a one-score game, and we should have had an opportunity to do something at the end, but we made too many mistakes.
Right. You're a lot nicer than me. I'm going to get into it. You were watching it with a group. Did you guys have the technical difficulties in the fourth quarter? We lost. We lost.
Not,
We lost a few plays here in New York.
I don't think so. I mean, I know the feed left for like 20 seconds, but it came back, and I don't think we
No,
missed
it
anything
was
better.
longer. It was a lot longer, and it was right when they were driving down the last time. But anyway, I'm just about almost done, Ray. I know I've said this before. I'll be in front of the TV next week, but
Done with who or what?
just the way this whole organization is going. Look, there's been 180 minutes of football. They've played a minute 53 of competitive football and made it exciting and fun for the fans. Today, what they put out there was slop.
Mhm.
And the defense was just pathetic. And I want to give a kudos to a few players and their offense. And I'm not a Mike White fan, but you've got to change it up. I mean, does this coach want to win or what? And then with this penalty with John Franklin Myers, I don't care what Bart Scott says. I was watching him. I mean, he could have at least put his hands up to try to avoid it. I'm just beside myself. It was just such a sloppy effort. Everything they've done in the offseason, trying to get the pass rush, it stinks. It's not there. They're not getting pressure. And this quarterback, who's really, I think he's an elite quarterback, he extended plays. He evaded defenders. They weren't able to contain him. With that said, I just want to point out four players, Ray. I got to give kudos to Quentin Williams, his brother Quincy Williams, who I've been on, who I thought played his best game as a Jet till he got hurt. C.J. Mosley, I thought was outstanding. And Sheldon Rankins, for once, I thought he was very good playing up the middle. Other than that, these guys, and Ray, I have some worries. I'm going to tell you one of my main worries. What is going on with Sauce Gardner? I don't know what it is. It's a second week in a row. He lets a guy go by, but that's one thing. There was a play where Mosley went after a guy on the sidelines, and he looked like he shied away from contact. I don't like what I'm seeing on some plays with this Sauce Gardner. And on offense, you have to change it up. And they've got to make catches. I mean, if this is the NFL, they're not going to throw every pass right into the letters. If it's a little in front of you or a little behind you, you got to make adjustments. And I'm talking about, look, Wilson dropped the pass I think he should have had. Who's the rookie running back? Breece Hall dropped a very important pass where he had a lot of real estate in front of him. Corey Davis dropped a pass. He dropped the pass.
I don't remember him dropping.
Yeah,
I
he
remember
did.
him catching a good
He
one.
dropped the pass. This has got to stop. I mean, they're not going to win games. They keep playing like this. And when things like this are happening, sometimes you have to make a change. I mean, Joe Flacco, again, he's like watching paint dry. I just can't take the guy. And I quit taking notes after a while. And this not holding players accountable. I don't know why Salah wasn't in the face of John Franklin Myers between that. I am just beside myself after this show, Ray.
Well, um, I don't disagree necessarily with, who you were saying. I mean, I thought Brees Hall definitely dropped one, and he dropped two, and both of them would have been first downs. The first one, he was already past the first down marker and he dropped it. He was mad at himself too, so he knew he should have dropped it. But I don't know how these guys drop anything with these gloves they wear. Honestly, I swear I don't. I don't know how these balls go through their hands. But neither throw was great, but both were catchable. He should have had them. I don't remember Davis dropping
Yeah,
one, but I saw him catch one that was really a tough catch, and he held on over the middle. So, I'm more bothered by Flacco. I would, if Wilson's not ready to go this week, I'd go with Mike White. I'd give him a shot. What's the difference? I mean, he's a little more mobile than Flacco, and I hear people say he has a quicker release. I don't remember him seeing that so much, but maybe he makes a faster decision. I don't know that his release is all that much different, but Flacco was throwing to guys. I mean, he's throwing a deep ball, and you can't see him when he's throwing it, but then the camera pans down, and the receivers basically the DBs stride for stride with whoever he's throwing to. They don't have any separation, and he's throwing it to guys who have guys in front of him, and he's trying to throw it over top with no room to do that. I mean, a lot of the places he was forcing the ball, it reminded me of Sam seeing ghosts. I mean, where are you throwing that you think that was an open receiver? So I was really disappointed in Flacco's passing today, and he held on to the ball too much. I don't like they didn't give Fant enough help with Hendrickson. He had 2 or 3 fumbles, and the last one I saw it coming. Here he goes, and I said, and here comes a fumble, and he did. I don't remember. It was 4th down anyway, so I don't remember if we got it or they did, but that didn't matter. I said Brees Hall should have made the catches, but they weren't great throws. Might be time to give Mike White a shot. And I want to see Elijah Moore being used a little differently than he is.
Where is Elijah Moore? My God.
I don't like the plays they're calling. I mean, I think they're so enamored with Garrett Wilson, they've forgotten that Elijah Moore's a weapon too. They don't ever throw it. They don't do a wide receiver screen. They don't do a skinny post. They don't do a slant pass. They don't do an end around. They don't have him do anything special. It's like he's just running regular routes all the time now.
Well, Ray, I thought he should have, if he's a great receiver, I wanted him to catch that ball that was up for grabs.
Well, I do too, but the guy
T. Higgins catches that ball. I see the opposition.
You see it when they catch it. You don't see it when they
know, but I see that. I see he's being blanketed about our defensive back, and they throw to his back shoulder like they've been practicing.
Isn't T. Higgins like 6'5"?
He's 6'3",
6'3". Elijah Moore isn't. No, he's not going to go over top of people. He doesn't have the jumping ability of Garrett Wilson, but he does have good hands and he can fight for the ball. But I just think we aren't using him the way he needs to be used. I don't think last year they started using him more when he was healthy. They had him doing things that kind of got him out in space and open, let him make moves. I don't see him calling anything, designed to get him the ball specifically, especially in an area where he can make a difference. Why not an end around? Why not a screen pass? Why not something short where he can get the ball in space? Why has everything got to be down the field with this guy? LaFleur calls it. It's either a crossing pattern over the middle, an out pass to the sideline, or a deep ball. Those are the 3 passes I ever seen thrown in this offense. I'm starting to question if LaFleur has anything in the way of, originality.
Ray, while we're talking about that, when you put Braxton Berrios in there and you put him in motion, it's so obvious it's a jet sweep. I mean, they did it and they went for like a -2 yards. I knew what they were going to do.
After a while, you can't just keep running the same thing.
Absolutely.
But how about a double reverse? Have him flip it to Moore. or even fake it to Moore or
Right.
something different,
Or
or
like,
maybe have Moore do it and flip it to him, do whatever. Just try something different once in a while. I mean, it's like watching a replay every week of the Jets offense, and then hopefully the other team plays it differently. That's all it is. Same plays, different team.
yeah, a few plays I just want to point out. There was a play where Whitehead, what is his first name? Jerome Whitehead,
Jerome Whitehead.
where they threw a pass to Boyd over the middle. All three receivers are great. And he was, I don't want to say he was out of position. I can't explain it.
He wasn't out of
Like
position because he was the safety. He
he
was
was,
behind.
he was right there to
Yeah.
make the tackle. And even the announcer said it was like a pinball machine. He like bounced off him.
Yeah, because he thinks he's Ronnie Lott, but he's half the size of Ronnie Lott and hits like a feather pillow. So he bounced off him, and then he ran 50 yards, and he couldn't even catch up to him.
Right.
And, they tried. I don't know who the DB was on the other side, but between him and Joyner, I'm down on both our safeties now. I mean, Joyner dropped. No, it was a tip ball and everything, but it was right in his hands. He could
Right in his hands.
and he drops an easy pick.
We can't hold on to an interception or grab a loose ball, a fumble on the ground. I never saw anything like it in my life.
I want to see, and this was my pet peeve of the other games. Quit tackling the ball, which they didn't do a ton of that this game like before, where they were trying to tackle the ball and guys just went for 5 or 6 more yards. But wrap the guy up and get him on the ground. That's really your job. Your job isn't to impress everybody and get a wow hit so you get on Sports Center. Your job is to tackle the guy to the ground. And if somebody else comes on and rips the ball out, or if you happen to hit him just right and rip it out, great. But if you're the first guy there, your job is to wrap him up and let somebody else come along and try and get the ball out.
Right.
Do that, and we paid for it.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and through the course of the game, I made a note that the Bengals were much better tacklers than the Jets.
Because they tackle.
They tackle. It was so obvious. And just so people know, there's a linebacker, Pratt, who's very good, and he was out this game. DJ Reader went out after the first half. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And we have a player, Connor McDermott. He cannot suit up for games. Talking about suit up for games, Ray, I apologize. I think I texted you and Ralph the inactive list. I think that was from the first game, September 11th, because McDermott was on the list, and I saw him come in. I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. But Connor McDermott, I mean, he's just so bad. I mean, there was a play where who's the defensive end that was killing us? Hendrickson went right around him, like basically untouched.
Yeah.
And then like 1 or 2 plays later, he went out because he hit his shoulder. I said, oh, thank God, my God. It was just unbelievable. And then I don't know why we can't make any sort of adjustments to help out McDermott.
That's what I meant. He can't handle the guy. And on a big play, you would think, and he's coming from Flacco's blind side, and Flacco's holding on to the ball too long. Give him more time. I don't care if there are less guys in the out running patterns, because our 3 receivers that we have are all good enough to get open. I don't care how many defenders are on the field. Moore, Davis, and Wilson are all fast enough to get open. Leave somebody in there to double team the defensive end that's killing us. But no, they leave. And I'm not sure what the final report was on Fant, but he went out something about his knee. And then I never heard any more on Quincy Williams, but that didn't look good at all.
It's an ankle with Williams. With Fant, it's a knee. In all fairness to Fant, I heard someone, maybe it was in the Jet postgame show on SNY, saying that he particularly was watching him, and from the very beginning of the game, he was favoring one leg over the other. So I think it's really been bothering him, and he's been trying to tough it out.
Well, I'm wondering if it's the knee that was bugging out. He had a problem.
I don't know, but it's just not working.
But that just tells you all the more. He needs help.
He needs help.
If he's you got a premier pass rusher, and the guy's one leg is not 100%. That's not a recipe for success when you're blocking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as Rob August calls to interrupt our our
I know.
podcast. Let me just let him know. But Ray, what about Tyler Conklin? What was you feeling about him?
Hey, I mean, I thought he had a pretty decent game this time. He didn't drop any, didn't fumble. So, he was more like what he was, in the preseason when they were first doing it. But we still aren't getting enough production out of the tight ends. I'm still want to see more. I want to see more out of Uzama. I want to see Ruckert get on the field. But, I don't know. I'm not a coordinator. I'm not going to try and know what the schemes are. But all I know is the eyeball test for me is our offense doesn't seem to be in any kind of rhythm. I never kind of sometimes his play calling, it seems vanilla, and other times it seems like he takes a shot when he should be conservative. So maybe it's just me, but I'm just going,
Well,
I don't get it. I don't understand that call, and maybe it's how it played out, but all I can go by is what I see in front of me.
I don't like the not holding players accountable, and I don't like the non-adjustments that we're not making. It just seems it's just not working. Again, I go back and forth on Robert Saleh. At times, like right now, I think he's over his head. I think they like playing hard for him. The players. I mean, when players go out, they come back in as long as they could. But I'm just not comfortable the way it's going. Just a couple of stats and Ray, and of course, I'm on the NFL website. It was 14-6 after one, 29 at halftime. At the end of three quarters, I guess it was 27-12, and nobody scored in the fourth quarter. Flacco was 28 for 52, 285 yards, two interceptions. One interception was really ugly. Michael Carter ran 11 times for 39 yards. And, well, they don't have half this is ridiculous. This is the NFL website. They don't have.
I don't.
By the way, while we're talking about that, I got to tell you the NFL, a couple of things. I said in preseason, I like to do my own scouting players that were either high drafted, undrafted free agent. This stuff in the preseason where they just go to the sideline, they start interviewing the starters is ridiculous. Now, it continues now because the NFL has everything timed so much, they're squeezing commercials to the very last second. When there were challenges out there, we didn't know what was going back on until we came right back from commercial. Then all of a sudden they're on the next play. We need an explanation.
Yeah.
We want to see a replay. Ray, this was killing me. I don't know how you felt about this.
This is no different than the Cleveland game when they did two challenges and came back, and the only thing we found out was they came back and the announcers go, well, they overturned it, or well, they upheld. That touchdown they called back for Chase where he bobbled it at the sideline. That was a good challenge. We didn't know that till they came back, and when they come back from break, at least where I was, when they came back from break, there's McPherson or whatever his name is, the kicker lining up for the Bengals. So I said, I guess they overturned it or whatever. So, I don't know what they're doing, but I think it's like say the networks, they keep having to up their offer to keep the NFL. They all want to keep the NFL, which I get, but they want their money, to make their money's worth. So they try and cram as many commercials into a game as they can to get money back. But it drives me nuts because I want to hear the ref tell us what, and so a lot of times the ref will give a bit of an explanation, if it's a real close one. But no, we just come back and find out the result. We don't hear anything otherwise. So I think CBS is actually one of the worst NFL broadcast companies out there. I can't stand it. And they always do something like that. I can't remember. There was something else they did today. I should have written it down. And they said there was something else they did during the game. And I'm like, CBS, they did. I think it was something they didn't show a replay on. And I'm just trying to remember what it was. But CBS to me is the worst coverage. So I'm not surprised. They miss a lot of things. I don't know. Are they doing that on, like, does that happen on Fox? Does that happen on these other stations?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't, if the Jets aren't on, I'm usually like reading a newspaper or doing a little work on the computer. I'm not paying as close attention, to be very honest with you, but
Right.
it's very telling. Let me just go through Ray, a couple of stats. I'm on the ESPN website, and thank God they know what they're doing. Brees Hall, 8 rushes for 39 yards. Boy, this guy's going to break one, Ray. I mean, he's dropping passes, but you see the talent. He's oozing with talent. Michael Carter, 11 rushes, 39 yards. Uh, Receiving, Tyler Conklin, 8 receptions, 84 yards. Now, a lot of that was garbage time, but he made it happen also. Garrett Wilson, 6 receptions, 60 yards. He was targeted 10 times. Brees Hall, 6 receptions, 53 yards. He's got to catch everything. Elijah Moore, 4 catches, 49 yards. I know at least 2 of them were in garbage time. Corey Davis, 2 catches, 27. Michael Carter, 1 catch for 7. CJ Uzoma, 1 catch for 5. I'm going to go down now to the defense. CJ Mosley had 12 tackles, 7 solo. Sheldon Rankins had 7 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Quincy Williams. Listen, I've been on Quincy Williams all year. I don't know how you feel, Ray, but to me, this was the best game he played as a Jet. What did you think?
I thought our defensive line was good. We just couldn't, and yeah, he was good again. I thought a few guys played really well, but we just, we got pressure on.
Man. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game.
Hang on.
Hold
So
on.
an ad popped up on my screen.
I think that was me.
Yeah, that was me. I liked it. They got pressure, but then they'd let Burrow get out of the pocket on him, and then he'd kill him by running around and creating. And so all in all, I thought our defensive line played pretty well, but we still don't get a lot of pressure. We got pressure when we had a chance to actually get there and get it done, that he slipped out and, found guys open. I was just killing me. I can't stand that. I mean, if it happens once in a while, but it happened all but I think one time we finally got him, and that was it. Other than that,
we just could not contain him. And I just want to point out one player on the Bengals. Now, Trey Hendrickson was great. He had 2.5 sacks, but they have a linebacker. He had an interception. Logan Wilson, Ray.
oh, he's good.
That guy is a player. He comes to play every game and he makes big plays. He's always in the middle of big plays. He makes clutch plays. I've seen him make plays, stopping first downs. That guy's a phenomenal player. So kudos out to him. I think he went to Wyoming, and I believe, and I might have mentioned, he was a safety, and they switched him to linebacker. I think he was a third-round pick. That was a great find. He's a heck of a ball player, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I like him. And I'm on ESPN site. That's where you heard that ad pop up. But Garrett Wilson had 6 catches for 60 yards.
Right.
So, yeah, and that did come up.
And he missed, I'm guessing, close to a quarter when he went out.
Yeah, hell, I didn't think he was coming back, actually, though, because he was out for quite a while. I thought, well, he must have really hurt himself this time. Then he was back on the field. I was happy to see that.
Yeah. And this week, Ray, gun to your head, who do you think is quarterback this week with the Steelers?
I mean, if it was up to me, I'd go with Mike White, but I don't know. Saleh seems to want to stick with well, first of all,
I think it's going to be Wilson.
If Wilson's good to go, it's going to be Wilson.
It's going to be Wilson. I think he is going to be good to go.
I don't know if he's good to go. I mean, so that taking that out of it, I bet he'd go again with Flacco, but I'd like to see him. What the hell? What's the problem with giving Mike White give him a shot?
One other player I just want to point out that I thought had a pretty good game, Ray, and it's funny because you and Ralph are going back and forth. I thought Jermaine Johnson was pretty effective from what I saw. He was active and he was getting some penetration. He had a tackle for a loss. Now, it was mostly all in the first half, but I liked what I saw from him. Carl Lawson, this guy is a disappointment, Ray. He really is.
Mm.
He had maybe like what, 2 pressures, I believe, and I think they were quarterback hits, but this guy is not that good. Like, or he's not as good as we thought he was.
I don't know that. I mean, he was doing it against us last year, but if you think about how bad we were, everybody was doing it against us last year.
Right.
So, and you know, guys don't just automatically come back from a Achilles 100%. It's a he still might be feeling effects of that.
What if you were a major transit system facing cyber attacks?
Here we go, Ray.
Partner with IBM to keep your
Hope
data.
you get money for those.
Love these ads that pop up when you're trying to look for stats and things.
Yeah.
Did you say Jermaine Johnson had 1 tackle?
No, he had 4, I believe.
4. Yeah, he had 4. And
Yeah.
1 for a loss. Okay.
Yeah, he had 1 for a loss, which was good. I mean, look, I like what I saw. I don't know if who's that other free agent I've been on? I didn't even know if he was active today. The guy they signed from the Chargers. I wanted Bryce Huff activated. The other defensive end. What's his name?
Trying to see if he's listed on here for doing anything. Marcel Harris?
No,
He was the linebacker. He came in.
The linebacker,
He came in when Williams went out.
And by the way, Michael Clemens was pretty good too. That Michael Clemens, getting him in the 4th round was a great pick. Okay, I really like him.
Oh yeah, I'm happy with him. I have no problem with him. And I think he'll just keep getting better.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else listed. So if the guy did anything, he didn't do anything.
Let me see. I don't know if the Jets rewind depth chart is updated or not.
But not on the defense.
That's all right. Hold on just a second. Hold on.
I don't see his name as far as tackles anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you how many plays.
Jacob Martin. So
Yeah, let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see him listed at all. So
Right.
I'm guessing if he did play, he didn't record a tackle.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, Ray, I think we're going to close this out a couple of minutes early. And I just have such a bad taste in my mouth. It's getting to the point where I got a feel for these people that go out to MetLife Stadium. They leave their houses in Long Island, Connecticut, or South Jersey at 9 a.m. They tailgate, whatever they spend for parking. I'm guessing it's like $25, $40. And then for the tickets and then food, it's literally like a $200-$300 day. And to see the slop that they produce, it's just, to me, it's just so upsetting. There's no rhythm in the offense and the defense. This John Franklin Myers, I got to go to sleep at night thinking about this. And these are things that keep me up, Ray.
That didn't help, but that was the same drive when Whitehead tried to play, tough guy and just knock the guy over. And, so if he makes that play, they're still only around midfield. I mean, we could have stopped him hopefully for a field goal, but no, so there were a lot of plays that was just, Franklin Myers' play was just one of them. But, I actually thought I saw something when they came back from break that him and a few of the players looked like they were jawing at each other.
Oh, they were. It was Quinn and Williams and the defensive line coach. I'll tell you something interesting.
It was right after that play, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but
after the series. Not
could
right
have been.
after.
Yeah, but what was interesting, and I forgot the name of the defensive line coach that did it out. They asked Sal about that. And he said they got heated because Quinn Williams wanted to go to a 4-man rush so he could be one-on-one with his opponent. And you know what, Ray? If I was the coaching staff, I would listen to Quinn Williams.
If he thinks he can beat a guy one-on-one,
you got to listen to him.
Yeah.
Listen,
what they're doing isn't working.
Yeah. I remember years ago when Lawrence Taylor was always on the wrong side, and he'd make the play. And then it happened again. It happened in the next game. And then Belichick and Parcells said, that's how we're going to run that defense. We're going to let him go to the side he wants.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. Sometimes these players, you know, they know what they could do and what they can't do. You got to listen to him. All right, Ray, we're going to have to do another podcast, I'm guessing Thursday night. So, and hey, Jet fans, make sure you give us a good review if you listen to it on Apple. We need these good reviews. And check out on my YouTube channel, Shoepack Sports, Saturday mornings. I do a Jets Rewind Plus where it's a flawless game plan. And if Robert Saleh had listened to me, we'd be celebrating right now. We'd be 3-0 because my game plan, it is flawless. Every week it is.
We'd be in first place because Buffalo lost.
We would, yeah. All right, for Ray Clifford and for Marty Shoeback. By the way, Jet fans, I'm going to give you a heads up. It's not for another, I guess, 11 months, but there's going to be a lot of green out in Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame weekend.
Joe Burrow, baby.
Make your reservations now, okay? The rumors are hot and heavy. You have Joe Klecko, you have Darrelle Revis possibility, and now the rumor is the Jets are going to be in the Hall of Fame game. Make your reservations. Okay, until next time, this has been Marty Shoepack.